Hello, good morning. This is Kate's video. It's a great video, so let me review this video. I made some notes to watch it and stop where I think there is something that we can pay attention to, so we can all learn from this. Kate, you did a great job. You have great ideas. It sparked ideas for me, which I'm really excited about. So let's get started. So I will pay attention to where the time marker of the video is at 12 seconds. You do you offer an arm gesture that Treacle doesn't react to. So in those moments when you review your own video, I would like you to ask yourself the question, what can I do to give more information and to clarify what I want? How can I make it easier to understand what I want from her? And maybe you could have used a target stick, for instance. So let's pay attention. This is the arm movement. Nothing happens. But that's okay, because at 21 seconds in the video, you are bridging for the right thought. You are bridging before Treacle touches the cone. I love that, because that is really just lowering your expectations. Go back to basics, say, okay, this is what you want, this is what I want, remember that. And you can see that she immediately picks up on that thought. So I love that. I just wanted to point that out. Here she goes. And you click before she reached and she still knows what to do. That was also amazing. Oh yeah, at here at 0.25, you could feed for position while you are there. So you could feed more towards the cone, so you reinforce the touching the cone again. If you want to teach your horse to go around the cone, you could feed away from the cone, so your horse moves away from you, away from the cone, and then send your horse on the other side of the cone. That would be lumping, because there is an easier setup to teach a horse to go around the cone in the beginning. Because I think what I see here, and I admire your enthusiasm, but this is also a little bit of a pitfall, just to set up like so many cones and have, I think, a high expectation. So you already acknowledge that for yourself. So that is super, super important, because this morning I read a quote, and it said something: it doesn't matter where you fall, it matters to pay attention. It doesn't matter to pay attention when you fall. It is important to pay attention where you slipped up. So in other words, we all make mistakes. That's just part of learning. Let's see. I heard a little pause recording. Okay, resume. So what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, it's important to realize where we could improve. So here I thought going around that barrel is super smart setup if you had more barrels and if that is something that you want to train. Because really, if you can send them around targets, that would be so useful, because by sending them around targets, you can also influence the sharpness of the bend they are taking. So yeah, I love this part. Yeah, I thought that was a really, really good part at there. So here's your setup. Yeah, you adjust it. But if you pay attention to everything that happened so far, you can see that if the horse takes the inside corner of targets or of cones, how little they actually are moving. So if that is something that you can train, that will benefit in the future. And also, yeah, so that that barrel just sparked an idea of me that you could just even set up the cones on the outside and then the barrels on the inside, and then train. That could be, if it is not distracting too much, that could also be a way to train your horse to go around the barrels and fade out the cones and see what happens. But even if you're behind her, she still sees you. So that's really, really great. Can you imagine what would happen if you could send her around that cone? And here again, if you would feed for position on the other side of the cone, I would have clicked that because she's like, oh, cone, and she's moving away from you. She's moving outside on that circle. So that would also be something that I absolutely would like to reinforce. But it's easier said watching the video than doing it in the moment. But you will, the more you watch your own videos, and this goes for all of you, the better you can think, because you're not in that moment, to think like, what would I suggest myself if while I'm watching? And you can make notes, and then you can review your notes before your next training session. I love this part because you're giving that arm signal, which gives her enough information to go touch that cone and walk around the barrel. So again, she's walking around that barrel. I should absolutely use that if I were you, because here again, they take the inner corner because they never have learned to pay attention to where they go. So of course they go the short way to the next cone, which is on the inside of the cone. So that would, if you would go on with this, and this is where I stop because I just only do 3-minute videos. So in the future training, start with the end in mind. If you have 2 cones set up on the each, or 4 cones on each corner of the arena, and they run to one cone, touch it, then do a sharp turn on the hindquarters to go to the next cone. If you can teach them to go around the cones, you can set up like 3 or 4 cones on the short sides of the arena, where the horse knows I'm going on the long side of the arena, then I have to go around it, around cone 1, around cone number 2, because that's on the AC line, and then around cone number 3 in that corner, and then you can create a whole line, one corner, and then a straight line again. So in the straight lines, eventually you can teach them to speed up more easily, because cantering and trotting on a straight line is way easier than on a circle. So let's keep in mind, how can we make this as easy and appetitive for our horses? Thank you very much for watching. Great video, Kate. I love to see your learning. And so that's it for now. Thank you very much. And let's go to the next video.